Now, here are a few things to consider when raising a stubborn child. And I'm not talking about the terrible twos or toddlers, that's a different stage entirely. Experts say it becomes a problem or an issue of concern when a child is approaching 6, 7, 8, and it begins to show some signs of stubbornness and all of that. Number one thing to do is to resist the urge to give harsh punishment when a child is being stubborn. You carry the child and begin to flog the demon out of the child. You see a lot of parents say, I will flog that devil out of your mind, I will flog that stubbornness out of your mind. Now, what this may end up achieving is you may end up shutting the child down, or you may end up hardening the child, which is what happens in most cases. It gets to a point the child will like, after all, it's just 12 strokes of cane. My mom will not do anything, Jare. She'll just tell me to drive Okada. She'll just tell me to give her 200 frog jumps. The children become used to these harsh punishments, and you are turning your child into something else entirely. So harsh punishments always do not work. What do we do? Offer choices. For instance, you tell your child to probably put off the TV, or you send your child on an errand. Offer choices. You ask the child, would you like to eat your food after you come back from going to buy this thing? Or you would like to do, give them choices that they cannot afford to say no. You ask the child, would you rather sit down and not do it, or you eat your food? Give them choices that they cannot resist. Another thing to consider is find out what the problem is. Is the child being strong-willed? Being strong-willed is different from being stubborn, because being strong-willed is a positive skill if channeled directly. Or the child is being rude, the child is being disrespectful, the child is being disobedient. You need to be able to separate the two. Now, if a child is being disobedient to your orders at every point in time, then you also need to sit down and check the kind of relationship that is between you and the child. Is it a case of see finish? You have not drawn healthy boundaries. The child just sees you as his mate. The child doesn't take you seriously. You need to sit down and begin to consider the kind of relationship. Yes, healthy parent relationship is one where children are comfortable to come and talk to their parents. Children are comfortable being friends with their parents. They are comfortable sharing, making jokes with their parents. But then again, everything must be done with respect. So if that happens to be the case, check the kind of relationship that you have with your child and begin to make the necessary adjustments. Begin to draw the lines. Begin to place the right kind of healthy boundaries between you and your child. Let them know who the mother is. Let them know who the father is. Let them know who the teacher is. Let them know these things. Let them know that there are lines and that mustn't be crossed. Also, listen to them. Sometimes some children are able to reason logically. They say morality is you doing what is right no matter what anybody says. Obedience is doing what you are told no matter what is right. Sometimes some children are able to tell what is right. So when you tell them to do certain things and they begin to resist, listen to them and hear their reasons for not wanting to do that. When you sit them and you begin to talk to them, number one, you are building healthy relationship, and then number two, you are breaking that resistance. And then when you listen to them and it happens that they really cannot give you any reasonable explanation, they become helpless, they become incapacitated, so they have little or no choice than to do whatever it is you have told them to do. That is one way to improve obedience in your children. Listen to them, let them give you reasons why they have decided. Once this becomes constant, the child will know that this man has my time. I cannot afford to just misbehave. He will sit down, he's ready to listen to me. When you do such things, children begin to adjust and they begin to behave well. Also, build healthy relationships with your children. A child that has a very great amount of respect for the parents, has love for the parents, to a very large extent will not be stubborn, will not be disrespectful, will not be disobedient. Then also set routines and attach consequences. For children that find it difficult to obey simple instructions, you have told them since morning to go and wash plates, they are still sitting in front of the TV, they are supposed to be doing their homework, they are outside playing. Set routines and follow it strictly and let there be consequences. Let the child know that immediately I come back from school, probably by 4 o'clock, I should drop my bag, take my bath and wash my school uniform. If I don't do that, I'm not having my food. Set those kind of routines and attach, especially logical and natural consequences, attach it to this thing. So you don't need to shout. The child knows that I don't take my bath, I don't eat, there's no food. It's not as if you're starving your child, but of course you're just trying to put measures in place. The child knows that from 6 to 7:30 I should be reading my book. If I don't do this, I don't get my pocket money for tomorrow. Just set routines and attach consequences. They are just fixed. You may write it and attach it to the wall, the door of their room, so it's something they are constantly seeing. Let them begin to regulate themselves so that you don't have to shout all the time, you don't have to explain things, you don't have to continue to repeat the same kind of instructions over and over and over again. If possible, for the routines, make it like a timetable and attach it. Make the routines, the time, what they're supposed to be doing, and the consequences for misbehavior. You can also take it a step further and also add reward for 100% compliance. You can tell your child that, okay, if you comply to all the routines for this week, I will give you this, I'll take you to this place, I'll buy you this, and all of that. Reward and consequences are actually very powerful tools in helping to shape a child's behavior, especially behaviors like stubbornness and misbehaviors. I hope these points or these tips will be helpful in moving us forward to achieving our goals in raising responsible, successful, happy, and whole children. Thank you.